start this off by shooting a Legionnaire in the back of the head. Yeah, that's what you want to do. But wait, there's more. Nice. G'day, this is Captainoob and this is Ratslayer. I've taken a look at this weapon before, but now with this new build, I can make it a lot more effective than it was previously in that video. Now, the way we're going to be doing that is utilizing its crit multiplier, which is not a crit damage multiplier, rather it's a crit chance multiplier. We'll get to that in a second, but as a reminder, this is a unique varmint rifle found in the Brock Flower Cave. It's got 3 modifications on this as standard. Extended magazine, a night vision scope, and a suppressor. It's also got this cool polymer body to it instead of the old standard wooden stuff, wooden furniture, and it's got tally marks on a mole rat skull on the stock there to show you this thing has slayed a lot of rats like its namesake. But like I said, critical multiplier, which, to put that in the most basic terms possible, it gets your critical strike rate and then multiplies it by 5. This thing's got a critical multiplier of 5. Therefore, should we get ourselves a 20% chance to crit or over, this thing will be critting 100% of the time. And that's fairly easy to do. So we'll go over how to actually get that. So 10 luck, that gives you the equivalent of 10%. Going over the perks, we have finesse here, which gives me plus 5% chance, which is, I've just scrolled past it, but there you go. That's 15% chance all up, and then simply wearing a perception increasing first recon beret, that's 20%. We've also got Ulysses Duster, which gives us another 5%, so that's 25%. That times 5, that's over 100. We've got 100% crit rate. So what we'll be doing is utilizing Holy Point rounds here, and luckily for me, the fire geckos here, they've got no damage threshold, so you can't multiply. Well, you can multiply 0, but it's going to be 0, and you'll find that all of the damage numbers I'll be getting are red, and I don't have to worry about aiming either. Not even hipfire accuracy is a point to me, because that one just walked right past me and had no idea exactly where I was. So I'm going to try to focus a bit clearer, clean up my aim a little bit, because I might need to aim a little bit later on during this video. But for now, it should be fairly simple taking out this place. And where are all the fire geckos? Okay, another target spotted. No hits there because Fallout New Vegas hitbox. But as you can tell, if we actually get a sneak attack critical on these guys, we're going to be one-shotting them. And since it's a suppressed weapon, unless your enemies witness you shooting them or shooting their allies, they're not going to know, and that's a particularly advantageous thing. There's a dead prospector here. Okay, I'll be honest, I thought there was going to be more fire geckos in here, but luckily there's Fireroot Cavern. Ah yes, here we are. Welcome to the outside of Fireroot Cavern. You can see a couple of, well actually 3 of the geckos patrolling around, so we'll dispatch of these guys as fast as possible, and then we'll make our way inside. Now, if you're using a suppressed weapon like this, like I explained before, you can easily get sneak attack criticals fairly regularly and quickly, provided they're far away enough that they don't actually witness each other dying, because the weapon just doesn't make any sound, which is great. Also, there's a legendary fire gecko in here, and if we end up critting that thing and killing it in one shot, I'll be pretty impressed, but I kind of don't expect it. Alright, so we're on the inside of the Fireroot Cavern now, and unfortunately for these little bastard geckos, it's sort of like a big shooting range here. So we'll see if we can't pick off one maybe by itself in the corner, but for the sake of making this go as fast as possible, we'll try to pick off everything. Okay, apparently the rigor mortis has set in really quick here, but as you can tell, despite not getting the sneak criticals that we would usually find from these guys, the numbers that we're getting are still red. There's a legendary fire gecko down there. He goes down. None of the death ragdolls are working. That's really weird. And I think simultaneously as I shot that particular gecko, the night vision scope went off. That's weird. And also, why are you like this? Oh, it's because they died in the water. Physics didn't settle. And would you know, the standard legendary fire gecko doesn't actually give you that much. But, yep, all cleaned up pretty quick smart. It's a big shooting gallery here. You could do it with literally any weapon in the game, to be honest. I guess whilst we're here, welcome to Cottonwood Crater. There's some different colored geckos up here. I guess they're green from the radiation. They'll go down to a couple of cheeky crit headshots. Alright, let's get to something a little bit more meaty after we get these rads scrubbed from me, I guess. Okay, welcome to Deadwind Cavern. This Ratslayer is about to slay some giant lizardy rats. Yeah, so we've got the hollow points loaded, and in just less than a magazine, about a little bit over half of a magazine, we're able to fell a Deathclaw without being detected. And, you know, this thing is sort of the fastest firing weapon in the world. To be able to be sneaky enough versus a Deathclaw for that duration of that small fight, I feel like that's a little bit of an accomplishment. Again, I feel like this weapon's a little bit of a sleeper, and if you don't like the time to kill here, think of the bullets to kill. That might be the saving grace here as I press F1 to activate VATS, because I'm used to Fallout 4. So I'm going to put one stealth critical headshot into the young one, and then hopefully have enough time to get the second stealth critical on the big one behind it. Ignore that health bar, it's lying. I think I got that stealth critical on that second one. Provided things go awry, we've always got the option of doing turbo, which I might do just a little bit later, because there's something that I do want to show. Because obviously, this is not very fast. It's a very slow, very time-consuming process, and as he's running or crawling or whatever towards me, if he gets close enough, he's going to detect me, and then I'm going to die because it's Deathclaw and it's Fallout New Vegas. So, there's a couple of ways we can speed that up. Option A, for real-time speediness, we can utilize something like turbo, like I was mentioning later or earlier. And if we want to make that even faster, we can grab a little thing called turbo. No, we've already done that. Rushing water, which will increase our attack speed by 50%. Combine that with turbo, and then you've got a lot of power. Quite a lot. Now, we are using AP rounds like an idiot. Let's go back to utilizing hollow points, and that'll do the job slightly better. And if you think that's fast, check out what this thing's like in VATS. Just as soon as, unless we get cinematic shots. Okay, we need to do this a little bit differently, but yeah, look at that. That DPS is skyrocketing now. Rushing water. It's such a cooked chem, it's broken. I feel like it should only increase your melee damage, but apparently it's like liquid methamphetamine, and it makes you crank the thing real fast. Okay, for reference, this is what the Ratslayer is like with turbo and rushing water at the same time. It's shot as fast as an AN-94. Blink and you'll miss that one. Now I'm going to die, maybe? Never mind, we'll just load the hollow points in. He will never know. Okay, back to the actual fights now. Combine that with turbo for a lot of good fun. The rat goes down, and now we're on to the main course here, which is going to be one little babby Deathclaw supplemented by the legendary Deathclaw, who's a very big boy. Actually, that's just a standard normal Deathclaw, standard adult, but he ain't got nothing on the big fella over there. So what we'll do is we'll pop another turbo, and then we'll go over to rushing water, and then we're gonna machine gun this guy to death. Giving this weapon a little bit of help to increase the DPS. Just giving it a little nudge in the right direction, I think, is entirely valid. But again, this is a very low level weapon. You can tell that by having literally a 0 requirement. So a level, one player could get this provided they've got a strength of rank 3. I mean, good luck getting past the rats at level 1, but I suppose you could do it with enough turbo, right? The smash and grab. Despite this weapon being such a low-level, pitiful little thing, it's gone alright against the Deathclaws with some help. So, like I said, it's a little bit of a sleeper, and I think that is about it for this weapon. A little bit of stealthy, varmint rifle-y stuff, a little bit extra on the Ratslayer. It's fairly easy to do, and getting those criticals, it's ever so satisfying. But if you are fighting stuff that is lesser than Deathclaws, mantids, that's the plural of mantises, and fire geckos, obviously anything that has a damage threshold of literally 0. So you could probably take this into honest hearts and be fine with it, to be honest. It's a pretty versatile weapon for such a low level one, but yeah, something to have fun with maybe if you're making a luck build in Fallout New Vegas. Thank you very much for watching, guys.